For those people unfamiliar with my voice, my name is Peter Mingles. I run a company called Network Leads. And about a year and a half, well, actually, no, about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I'm not very good with dates, but about 2 or 3 years ago, a gentleman named Greg Dwyer had given me a call and introduced to me his products and services. And being in this industry for as long as I've been in, I realized that sometimes I have to be, well, all the times I have to be cautious on who I work with and who I expose my customers to. So I kind of explained that to Greg, and he shared with me some of his products and services, but I really didn't know anything about him. Although what was interesting is I knew about Greg before Greg called me, and it kind of happened like this. Since we're in the lead generation business, several of his customers were also my customers, and they kept reordering and the leads that we have and the products and services that we offer. And it's natural that I would, of course, learn more about my own customers and find out what's working with them and what's not working with them. And several times, Greg's name popped up and his products popped up. And in essence, he already was successful in my eyes because of the track record that my own customers had with using his products and services. So when he called me, he really wasn't a total stranger because I knew a little bit about the success that other people had had. But again, I'm always cautious on who I present or who I put my customers in front of, because I don't want to lead anyone off track. And over the next year and a half after that first conversation, Greg and I had developed a relationship where I really felt comfortable with working with him. And he asked me to give an intro on this call for those people that are starting working with him tonight, for those people that might be unfamiliar with either myself or with him, just as a way of saying hello and, of course, thanks for taking this course and the exposure that you'll probably have with us as well, but also to say that Greg and I, and Greg himself, has an interesting blend and a way of working with people. In the lead generation business where we are, we can sell leads and provide some training, but it's really what people do on a regular basis. It's what they do day after day, week after week, month after month, and the accountability that really can make the difference between success and failure. And when I started speaking with Greg, I said, Greg, you really finish up where I can't, because we can provide good products and services as far as leads and some basic training, but really you provide the accountability on a day-to-day, a week-to-week, and a month-to-month basis, and that's what my customers need. So he and I started working together, and we've had, I don't know how many, countless calls that we've had, hours and hours and hours on the phone many times, and we've we've developed a relationship, if you will, where I've really gotten to know who this gentleman is and how much he can really help. And he refers people to us. You'll hear my name a few times. We constantly refer people back to him because people that use our products and services in him actually work. So what you'll find when you work with Greg is an interesting blend. He's motivational, he's educational, he's inspirational. I've worked with him, again, closely for the last, 2 or 3 years now after those brief introductions, and I have found that he's honest, sincere, hardworking. He's looking out for your best interest, and he's going to deliver the goods when you need to deliver the goods. He'll meet you wherever you need to be as far as, as long as you're willing to do the work, he's going to help work with you. But if you're not willing to work, then he figures that you're not, he's not going to work with you as well. So I'd like the opportunity to introduce someone who's become a close friend, a great business acquaintance. We've done seminars together, Greg Dwyer.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that very much. And at the end of the call, guys, tonight, I'm going to give you Peter's website and also his telephone number, and you're not going to want to miss the calls that he's going to present for you and your team, and it's going to be such a blessing for you. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Let me just say a little bit about my background in the direct sales and also the network marketing background. Just like you, I started in network marketing. For me, the year was 1994, and it was a very good friend of mine who had introduced me to the product, the opportunity. And my first reaction was, I want nothing to do with nutritional products, and I want nothing to do with direct sales or network marketing. At the time, I was a full-time minister in Cleveland, Ohio, and I wasn't open to the product, and I wasn't open to the opportunity. However, I changed my mind. In 1996, I got involved on a part-time basis, and I pretty much got obsessive. By the year 1999 was rolling around, I grew a great organization, awards every month, group volume. In the year 2000, Network Marketing Lifestyles magazine called me up and wanted to do an interview in the day of the life my personal life, my business life, and also my professional life as an ordained minister. What changed? What changed was my mindset. Now, I have trained over 2,000 different network marketers from many different companies, and I have learned a long time ago that just telling people what to do does not work if they don't change their mind. And what I mean by that is you can tell a person to prospect, you can tell a person to follow up, you can tell a person how to use the Business Builder and Action Planner, but if they don't have a proper mindset, they're not going to follow through long term to create the habit. So you're going to hear me say this, if not once, 100 times in the next 24 months. You are standing on a diamond mine of potential. Change your mind. Back to my story. I met a gentleman out in Vegas, and I wanted to find out what the secret to this business was. And he said, Greg, if you want to know what professionals do, is they work their business like a true business, and they're telemarketers. I said, what do you mean? He says, Greg, they're on the phone constantly talking to Peter, talking to Sandy, talking to John, talking to Brenda, talking to whoever, and they're looking for people that are looking for what they have, and they don't stop. They're obsessive. They're focused. So I came back from Vegas. I got a job as a telemarketer. Now, here I am, a pastor. At this time in my life, I was a part-time minister working as a telemarketer, making $10 an hour. What I wanted to learn was the discipline of sitting next to a phone from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 5 days a week, talking to hundreds of people, sorting through the numbers, getting the ratio right. When I say getting the ratio right, what I'm talking about is understanding that it's just a numbers game. After that first year of working as a telemarketer, my second and third year, they promoted me to management. So I managed the whole telemarketing room, teaching people how to connect with people. See, what I discovered by modeling was that the people that learned how to connect with another human being, even though they've never met them, were people who were able to influence people. Now, I had some mentors in the telemarketing arena. I modeled them. I mirrored them. I hung around with them. I learned from them, and that's why you're on this call tonight. If I can take 5 or 10 years off your learning curve, then I'm going to feel satisfied because I have over 10 years of experience in not only direct sales but also the network marketing arena. What I learned from the telemarketing industry is not only is it a numbers game, but you have to learn how to break the ice. You have to learn how to put people in a state of being comfortable so that you can influence them to make a decision. Now, in addition to this, I also was hired as a coach and trainer in the industry as a generic trainer. I did this for about 2.5, 3 years, talked to major distributors from all different types of direct sales and network marketing companies. The party plans, the nutritional company, the air purification company, water purification company. You name a company out there, most likely for 2.5 to 3 years, I had something to do with helping some of those people be more organized, more consistent, and more focused so that they could build a business. What I discovered in the process of wearing that hat as a generic coach is that 99% of the population in direct sales and network marketing are not treating their business like a true business. Now, what I mean by that is if they were in a traditional business, they would be out of business within 6 to 9 months. Why? Because they're not focused. They don't have a game plan. They're not disciplined. They're not playing their business like a true business to get the results that they were promised at the very beginning. Now, everything that I'm going to share in this course, whether you're in this course for 12 months or whether you're in this course for 24 months, is based on my opinion. We have many different people all across the country that are from different direct sales and network marketing companies listening to this call today. There's no way that I'm going to present the perfect system for you and your company. You're going to have to take the information that I share with you and try it on for size. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to open up your mind to possibility. I'm going to ask you to be open and literally to change your mind. See, if you find yourself stuck and you're not recruiting and you're afraid and you're procrastinating, most likely what must change is you. So please take everything that I say based on my opinion. If I contradict something your upline says or your top directors say, definitely listen to them. Where I'm coming from is my experience. So don't believe a word I say just because I say it. Examine it, try it on, and if it works for you, fine. And if it doesn't work for you, go to your upline and work with them. So let's get started. If you have a piece of paper, and I hope you're taking some notes, grab a blank piece of paper, and in the top right-hand corner of that piece of paper, make a star, a little star. The top right-hand corner of a piece of paper. And if you're driving, listen to this. You might want to pull over, or you can just imagine this in your mind. So you got a star in the top right-hand corner of a piece of paper, which is totally blank. That little star represents everything that you want to be, do, and have in your lifetime. Maybe this year, maybe this month, hopefully in your lifetime. Now, that could be better health. That could be quitting your job. That could be travel. That could be being a professional speaker. It could be anything. But the point is, folks, you don't have it now. It's not part of your reality now, but you wish it. You want it. You desire it. It's something that you crave. I've been there. I have been a dreamer all of my life. Even before I knew who Napoleon Hill was, Think and Grow Rich, I knew what it meant to have a dream, to focus on it, to work in daily discipline to make it happen. It just was instinctual. I did it simply by reaction of being a dreamer. What we're going to talk about tonight is creating a dream on paper and then executing it every single month, every single week, every single day with daily, weekly, and monthly discipline so that you will achieve your dreams. And we guarantee you that if you follow the system and you stay focused and you're organized, it will happen for you. Now, in the middle of that piece of paper, I'd like you to draw a diamond. Now, it doesn't have to be a sophisticated diamond. It has to be like a baseball diamond, you know, where you have home base and first base and second base and third base and back to home. I kind of chuckle because about 2 years ago we did this call in London, and we had about 25 people on the call, and halfway through people interrupted me and said, "Greg, what's a baseball diamond?" Well, if you think of a two of diamonds on a playing card, that's the diamond we're talking about. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And the foundation of my course is based on 5 fundamentals, which we're going to talk about tonight. Home base, first base, second base, third base, and then back to home. It doesn't matter how large you made that diamond. That's where you are right now in your life. Everything that you have in your life right now, everything that you have as far as debt or assets or your thinking or your business or your lack of business or your downline or your lack of downline is represented by that diamond in the middle of that piece of paper. Now, where you want to be is up to the right-hand corner where that little star is, but there's a little bit of distance between the diamond and that little star. So how do you make it happen? How do you make your dreams become a reality? Simple. You expand the diamond. You change your mind through daily discipline, and you grow through personal growth, through discipline, and by really playing the game. In the process of doing that, every single month, every single year, you will become a bigger person. And if you think about it, if you just kept on making that diamond a little bigger week by week, inch by inch, eventually what's going to happen? That little star is going to be in the middle of the diamond. And so what needs to change, folks, is you. Now, here's the rub. Here's the funny thing about it. Most people don't want to change. Most people focus on where they want to be, but they're not willing to change their mind. They are stubborn. They resist change. The unknown is scary. Picking up the phone and calling a lead or calling somebody that you know is scary. It's very scary. But in the process of letting go of all those limitations, in the process of growing and reinventing yourself, in changing your mind, you will achieve your dreams if you go through the process. Now, what's the process? Well, I've been around this industry for 10 years, over 10 years. I've been to seminar after seminar. I've spent thousands of dollars mentoring with people, read hundreds of books. That's one of my passions. listen to tapes, and I believe it all comes down to this: change your mind. Everything that you have in your life up to this point is based on your thinking. If you want better results, you have to change your mind on an emotional, subconscious level to get different results. I mean, think about it. Why does a person work in Burger King versus a person who's a CEO of a company? It's a mindset. You take a person who's a CEO of a company and you put him behind a counter working at McDonald's, and you take the person working behind the counter at McDonald's and you put them in a place of a position of authority like a CEO, they're not going to be able to function. Why? Because of mindset. Wherever you are right now, it's based on your mindset. If you want different things, or if you want to achieve better things in your life, whatever that is, it's simply about changing your consciousness. Now, I believe there are 5 areas that if you put into practice and master, you will change your mind. Now, why do I say this? Well, going back to my experience, I knew nothing about business and sales and direct sales and network marketing when I signed my application. My background was I was an ordained minister. I went to school for 4 years in Springfield, Missouri. I went to 4 years of seminary in Concordia Seminary in St. Louis. And I came out with a master's degree with no mindset about business whatsoever. On top of it, I wasn't even comfortable talking to people about money. When I heard about direct sales and network marketing and how much people could make, I said to myself, I don't want any of that. In fact, my wife laughs this day about that because I have totally changed. I'm not even the same person I was 10, 20 years ago. The key is changing your mind. So when I heard about direct sales and network marketing, I treated it simply as a product. Here's a product that can help you with your weight. Here's a product that can help you with bronchitis. This product might be able to help you with arthritis. Because that was my mindset at that time in my life. And I created a lot of distributors and a lot of product users and some business builders. But when I met Michael Quinn out of Austin, Texas, who owns the company Network Action Company, and I discovered the Business Builder and Action Planner, it changed my life. First of all, when I first got it, I was totally intimidated by it. I didn't really understand what I had in my hands. And I treated it simply like a day timer. Let me give you an example. If I had to meet Sharon at a Dunkin' Donuts on Friday at 2 o'clock, I'd write down Sharon, meet her at 2 o'clock, and that would be it. And that's how I used the Business Builder. Then, once I evolved and started mentoring with people, going through the telemarketing experience, reading books, listening to tapes, and understanding the process and using and growing into the Business Builder and Action Planner, guess what? I became the Business Builder. See, when I do live seminars all over the country, I talk to people about the Business Builder. And they think I'm talking about a black binder that sits on your desk which weighs about 10 pounds. I'm smirking and smiling because what happened to me, folks, is that the more I grew and the more I learned how to use the Business Builder, which, by the way, was a process. It didn't happen the first day. It didn't even happen the first month. But as I learned going through the learning curve of using the book, I became the Business Builder. I changed my mind. So if you find yourself intimidated and you haven't watched the video yet, or you haven't put the book together and you really don't know what's going on, and you're asking yourself all these questions like, am I going to be able to figure this out? Maybe I should send this book back. Take a look at that, because those are the thoughts that are holding you back. Those are the thoughts that are keeping you where you are. You are standing on a diamond mine of potential. Change your mind, will you? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the diamond. This information is not new. I have just packaged it into what I call a diamond mine, and the first place to start is home. If you think about it, if you're going to play a game like baseball, you got to know why you're playing. If it's, the major leagues or the minor leagues, or if it's just a church picnic, you got to know why you're up there. You got to know why you're playing. It could be Little League. It could be a great event. Like, it means everything for you. In the same thing, network marketing, you have to know why you're playing. So desire is the first place to start. Now, is this new? Is this novel? Absolutely not. Napoleon Hill talks about having desire, having an obsession, and knowing what your purpose is. Now, tonight, we are going to frame and create your desire on paper. We're going to give you some homework. We're going to talk to you about some emails that are going to come your way, and we're also going to introduce you to Peter Mingle's calls, which he's going to do this week, which are going to assist you to change your mind and reinvent yourself, really. So desire is the first place to start. First base is about discipline, and this is what we're going to talk about next week, discipline. You know, guys, I will tell you, talk is cheap. So many people come into network marketing and they leave network marketing because they're great talkers. They haven't ever produced anything. They've never recruited. They've never sold. They've never built a downline. They're great talkers. They're great entertainers, but they haven't produced. See, you can show up on a job and you can just do enough work just to get by so that they don't fire you. But in direct sales, in network marketing, your company isn't going to pay you just because you're cute, sexy, got a great smile, and you know how to flip your hair in the air. The only way they're going to pay you is if you create volume, you create results. That's it. And see, this is why so many people in this industry fail, because they have this job mentality. And they go into free enterprise thinking, okay, I'm just going to do what I was trained to do from grammar school, which is being right, not being wrong, and just showing up on time and doing what I'm supposed to do and not take risks. And they take that job mentality into free enterprise, and they fail miserably. So you can talk about your dreams until the cows come home. But once you begin to have the guts to schedule it, and then to follow through with discipline, you're halfway there. See, there's a relationship between home base and first base. Here's the relationship. Just as an apple tree produces apples, and just as an orange tree produces oranges, if you have a desire, it's going to show up in your activity or lack of activity. So what I tell people is that the business builder and the action planner and this 12 months or this 24-month course is going to be like a mirror, which is going to show back to you what your true intentions are. Let me say that one more time. This course and the business builder is going to be like a mirror, a true mirror. Remember Sleeping Beauty, when she talked to the mirror told her the truth, right? Okay? Well, the business builder is going to be like that mirror. This course, whether you show up, you do the work, you prospect, is going to be like a mirror that is going to show you your true intentions. Now, the bad news is most people don't want to see their true intentions. They'd rather go through their whole life deceiving themselves and talking and never producing. But if you're willing to change and you have a burning desire to change and evolve and reinvent yourself, you're going to allow this book and this course and me to reveal your true intentions so that you can be responsible to make a change. And I really believe that's what this whole business is all about. It's making a change, first in ourselves and then in other people. Whether you're in health or nutrition or whether you're in some kind of technical network marketing or direct sales product, it's all about helping people change their health, their finances, their mindset. So home base is about desire. You must learn how to master your desire. That's the first place to start. First base is about mastering the discipline. Now, next week, we're going to create a game plan together. You're going to break it down monthly, weekly, and daily, and you're going to keep yourself accountable. One of my best friends just joined Weight Watchers not too long ago, and we sat down and I said, why is this working for you? I know you've been struggling with your weight the last 20 years. What is going on that you're actually shedding pounds? He showed me this little booklet about changing your mindset. He said, Greg, it's all about changing your associations. It's all about changing your mindset. It's all about being accountable to other people and writing down what you do. I said, stop. You need to be my guest speaker on my next Power Tune-Up. I thought to myself, This is why Weight Watchers works. They get results because they have to be accountable, not only to themselves, but to the group, to other people, and they have to write down their activity. First Base is all about the daily disciplines and writing it all down. We'll talk about that in depth next week. The following week, we're going to get to Second Base. And Second Base is mastering your mindset around disappointment. Disappointment. Now, why is this important? Because no matter what you want to do in life, you're going to face disappointments, especially if it's a great thing, especially if you have to take risk and do something that most people aren't willing to do. Having a dream is important. Taking action is important, but understanding that there's going to be frustration and disappointment and doubts is very important to know so that you can set yourself up for success and not for failure. What if you knew you couldn't fail? What if you knew that no matter what a person said to you on the other line, your success was written in stone? In other words, there's nothing that could get in your way that would stop you. On Second Base, we're going to teach you how to change your mind around four things. The first thing is rejection. What if I could teach you how to be rejection-proof? In fact, whatever someone says to you, whether they say no, or whether they say drop dead, or please don't call me anymore, or I'm on a do not call list, no matter what they say to you, what if I can give you a mindset so that you are unstoppable and it doesn't bother you? We're going to talk about that on Second Base, which is mastering disappointment. Rejection, deception, apathy, attrition. These are just some of the few things that are going to try to stop you from reaching your goals and living your dreams. But if you know it up front, you won't be surprised when it happens. You know, I can't stand these stories of people getting involved in direct sales and network marketing and they're not told the truth up front. And I think to myself, these poor folks are going to figure it out anyway. If they stay in the game long enough, they're going to understand that they're going to be frustrated. They're going to have highs and lows. They're going to face rejection and deception and all the other things that go on. I guess it'd be like giving somebody a baseball and saying, hey, Johnny, go out there and play ball, and never telling him that he's going to have to slide into home and get his pants dirty, that some days it's going to rain, some days you're going to lose, some days you're going to strike out, someday the ball's going to hit you right in the head. And you can't cry, you can't throw down a bat and walk off the field and blame the weather or the pitcher and just pout. If you know it up front, you know that you can win if you stay in the game and learn the skills. So we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. The next base is Third Base, which is all about mastering dialogue, learning how to connect with people. Now, I will tell you, when I started in 1994 and 1995, when I started getting serious, this is what I thought, folks. And I'm embarrassed to tell you this. I thought it was all about me. How's that? Now, 10 years later, I've discovered it isn't about me. It's about other people. But I thought it was all about me. I thought it was all about my product. I thought it was about all my compensation plan and how great my product was and how great my story. Oh, by the way, do you want to hear my story? And that's how I approached people in direct sales and network marketing when I started. When I started, I was perspiring. My heart was beating out of my chest. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to say. And the worst thing about it is I talked too much. I talked about how great my product is, how great my opportunity is, how great my compensation plan is. And I drove people away from me rather than attracting them to me. On Third Base, we're going to teach you how to connect with folks. We're going to teach you the law of attraction. We're going to talk about different personality types, and we're going to teach you how to influence people to make a decision. I believe this. Second Base and Third Base make up about 85 to 90% of your success. One has to do with your mindset and your attitude internally, and the other base, Third Base, has to do with how you communicate, how you connect with folks, how you put them in a place of being safe so that they can trust you, like you, and make a decision. I'm so excited about this material. It's going to change your life. The next base is home. And what's home about? It's about scoring a run. It's about winning the game. It's about them picking you up and running you around the field, right? It's about destiny. And what's destiny all about? Destiny is about two things. Number one, If you don't learn how to master money correctly, if you don't learn how to get money right emotionally, it doesn't matter if you make $100,000 a year in this business, a month, a week. If you're spending more money than you're making, you're not going to be successful in this game. So we're going to teach you ways of managing your money in an emotional way so that you are controlling money and money is just a tool. It's not controlling you. Now, with your Business Builder and Action Planner, there's a tax diary system, and we're going to teach you how easy and natural it is to take your personal expenses and convert them over to business expenses. And you're also going to want to teach your people to do this too, because the more that they learn how to do this, folks, the longer they're going to stay in the game. Because let's face it, if somebody signs up with you today, most likely they're not going to be making $1,000 a week or a month right off the top of the game, are they? But if they could start saving money on their taxes and you teach them how to do this, they're going to stay with you for life. You see, I would never quit my business. I travel the world, I speak, I go on vacations, I take a lot of my expenses, which are personal expenses, and I convert them over into business expenses. I have made my passion, my hobby, my life, and most of it I write off. So I'm stuck, folks. I'm not going away because 99% of what I spend, which are computers and trips and cruises and fax machines and books and tapes and seminars, guess what? I let the government pay for them. So we're going to show you this, and believe me, you're going to be hooked. That's the tax diary system. The other thing about Destiny is this: leadership. See, I believe this. You can have the greatest product in the world. You can have the greatest compensation plan in the world, and allow me to be frank. But if you're a jerk and I wouldn't follow you across the street, I ain't joining you. Now, maybe that offends you, but I just have to be me, and it's my opinion. I believe your product isn't really your product. I know you believe your product is the best thing in the world, but what I've discovered over the last 10-plus years is that people are attracted to leadership. And there's not that many leaders in the world. There's not that many people that speak their mind and really create change in people's life. I believe people are hungry for leadership. So what's leadership? What's creating a destiny? I believe it's simple. It's so simple that most people don't even see it. Here's leadership. Number one, you know what you desire. That's home base. Number two, you're into discipline. You're not just talking, you're doing the work, which means talking to people, following up with people. That's first base. Number two, or number three, I should say, when things go wrong, and believe me, they always will, it's Murphy's Law, right? You think differently than the masses. When most people are willing to throw down the ball and the bat and walk off the field and cry and say, this doesn't work, you see something different through the process. It's because you're one in a million. And then you learn how to connect with people. You're flexible. You go with the flow. You learn how to connect with people on a heart level, and believe me, that's leadership. So that's what we're going to teach you in the next 12 months to 24 months. Now, why do we do 12 or 24 months? I don't think hearing this information one time in the next 4 to 5 weeks is going to make a profound difference in your life. I don't believe by just listening to these CDs it's going to change your life overnight. I believe that you have to be in this course week by week, month by month, accountable to myself, your upline, yourself, and the group, and going through all of the things that we're going to be doing, which is live prospecting, a power tune-up, a timeout, and a business activity review call that we do weekly, that you're going to get this. Now, this course goes for a year or two. Every 5 weeks, we go over the same information on a live call with different people every month. So what that means is we're going to invite you back next month for free to audit. Why? Because we want you to hear this information again and again and again, but not just listen to it, actually put it into practice. So in addition to the 5 weeks, which is going to be home base, first base, second base, third base, and back to home, every single month we are going to do 4 live calls, which is going to keep you focused, consistent, organized, so that you will create predictable results. But here's what I need to say to you. You have to show up. You have to do the work. You might like me. You may not like me. You may think I'm abrasive. You may think, oh, Greg's just being Greg. You might think I'm the greatest speaker in the world. You might think I'm so-so. But here's what I want to tell you. The course does not happen on these calls. The course happens when you hang up this phone or you pop the CD out of your player and you get into the process of playing the game. So whether you think I'm the greatest speaker and I have all these great profound ideas, or whether you think it's just so-so information, understanding this, knowing what to do is not enough. If you already know this but you're not doing it, you don't know it. You haven't changed your mind. You haven't grown yourself. Let me give you an example. What if we were talking about swimming on these phone calls? Every single week you came to these 5 calls and we talked about this technique of swimming and that technique of swimming, and you thought, wow, Greg really knows his stuff. Wow, I took some great notes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until you put your toe in the water. It doesn't matter until you jump in the pool and put this information into practice. So I'm going to encourage you not just to listen to me, but to take what I say and put it into practice and make it happen in your business, no matter what business you're doing, because it doesn't matter. These 5 fundamentals, desire, discipline, disappointment, dialogue, and destiny, will fit into your business, and if you change your mind, you will create different results. Now, if you stay the same and you resist all the things that I talk about, you're probably not going to create any different results. If you don't show up to these calls, if you don't answer the emails that come to you every week, if you don't come to the live prospecting calls or the power tune-up calls or all the calls that we do during the week and the month, and you don't apply these principles, you wasted your money, you're wasting our time, and you're simply fooling yourself. Let me give you an example. When I went to college, I thought to myself, what's college going to be like? What I discovered when I went to college is that the teacher was passionate about the information, but the teacher wasn't going to do the work for you. When I got to graduate school, I recognized that the teacher was passionate about the information, but you had to show up, you had to do the work, you had to have the material in place, and if you didn't take 100% responsibility, you were going to just fail, and it wasn't the fault of the teacher. Now, I have trained over 2,000 different network marketers in many different companies in the last 10 years, and what I've discovered is this. I can have 4 or 5 people in a class, or 20 people in a class, or 30 people in a class, and some people will change their mind. And they will get different results. They will call me back. They will email me. They will meet me at live conferences, and they'll show me their business builder, and they'll tell me about how their checks have gone up and how their volume has increased and how they love playing the game. And there's other people that just tell me this doesn't work. The book is not in the color that they like. They're afraid that they're going to get a paper cut. They're afraid that they have to carry the book around. They don't like paper. And so the excuses, and you know what? They just go on, and they don't change. So I don't say this out of judgment. I say this because if you want to have different results, it's all about being responsible, changing your mind, and not blaming. See, most people go through life blaming and criticizing and complaining about what they have or don't have. Some people are willing to take a risk and do something that's uncomfortable for them. Do something that's outside of the box to get different results. And that's what this whole course is all about. So I'm going to encourage you to keep an open mind, to be responsible, to show up and do the work. Okay, enough about that, enough about the course. Let's talk a little bit about the Business Builder and the Action Planner and really the whole philosophy around the book. Now, when I first got this book, I was so intimidated by it. I was not a business builder at the time. I had to go through the evolution, but I'm going to make this so simple and so easy for you so that when you hang up this phone tonight or you take this first CD out of your CD player, you're going to say to yourself, I got it. This is simple. This is easy. All I have to do is learn the process, just like anything new, just like riding a bike. So if you got your business builder in front of you, and hopefully if you're listening to my voice in your home or in your office, you're sitting in a stationary place and your business builder is on the table in front of you. I tell people all the time, I have my phone, I have my business builder, I have my fax machine, and I have my computer, and that's all I need. I don't have hundreds of papers around my desk. I don't have sticky notes. I'm not disorganized. I'm focused. I'm disciplined. But I will tell you, I wasn't always that way. And I'll tell you a little bit about that next week. All right, the first thing you want to do is you want to open up your business builder to today, or in the sense of this next week that's coming up, the full week, which is in your business builder for next week, because we realize this is a weekend call, and you're really going to start working your business tomorrow using this business builder and action planner. So what you want to do is you want to turn to this full week that is coming up this next week, the next 7 days. And you should have a big piece of plastic that says today. This piece of plastic, which says today, is going to anchor you. Because right on this piece of plastic that says today, this big giant bookmark, this is what you need to do in your business. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So you should take that big piece of plastic and put it right in the middle of your business builder inside the calendar for this upcoming week, the next 7 days that you're going to work your business. All right? So you should have your book in front of you with the day open to this full week, and to the left of it, there is a blue tab that says Preview. And then to the right of your book, you should have Prospect, Contact, Manager. And then after Manager, you should have Builder and Indexer, and then the 4 gray tabs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I can see how intimidating this book can be to a beginner or someone that doesn't have a business mindset or even a day planner mindset or a prospecting follow-up mindset. Believe me, I can relate to you. This is what happened to me when I first looked at this. But it's really simple. It's really easy to use. Okay, let's talk about this first tab, which is blue, which says Preview. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. The first way is to put all of your preview papers at the beginning of your business builder. That means you have January, February, March, April, May, all the way through December of this year at the beginning in the first tab, all 12 months, and their preview pages. Now, how do you know the difference between a preview page and a regular calendar page? Well, it's simple. The preview pages are gray bordered, and they consist of 2 pieces of paper for every single month. So if you're looking at March, or you're looking at April, or you're looking at May, in preview, you'll find that they all have a gray border around them, and they consist of 2 pieces of paper for the whole month. Now, we have some people that take their previews and they put them in between the months throughout the business builder, throughout the calendar. You can do whatever you want. This is your book. What I like to do is I like to put all of my previews, all 12 months, at the beginning under the blue tab that says Preview. So what's the function of Preview? Have you been to a movie lately? And you're sitting there and you're waiting. You got the popcorn, you got what you're drinking, and you're waiting for the feature. But what happens before the feature? There are previews. They are showing you movies that are going to come up in the next 6 months or 9 months because they want to whet your appetite. They want to put a little seed in your brain that this movie's coming out with Catherine Zeta-Jones and you must see it. They're planting seeds. What preview is for you folks in your life, in your business, is the ability to plant seeds in the ground to watch them grow 6, 9, 12 months later. See, I live up in Connecticut, up in the Litchfield Hills, in between New York City and the Berkshires in Massachusetts. I mean, there's nobody around here. We got hills, we got cows, we got trees, we got parks, we got lakes. And about 9 months ago, they dropped a house next to my house here in Litchfield, Connecticut. And all of a sudden, this house appeared, but it didn't happen that way. First, it happened with a thought. Somebody got the bright idea of buying the piece of property. Now, I don't know if they wrote that down or not, but I know somewhere in the process that thought had to get to paper in the sense of a blueprint. Somebody said, let's build a house. They had to create the dream on paper and then present it to the town hall and then little by little by little make it happen. What the preview is for you in the business builder is for you to get clear, to get focused, to visualize what you want to do in this lifetime, or this month, or the next 6 months, or the next 9 months, or the next 12 months. So every month you have the ability to create on paper what you want to manifest in your life, first on paper. And then if you focus and you write it down and you commit to it and you take daily action to make it happen, the chances are it will happen. So that's what Preview is all about. If you want to do a 90-day blitz for your company, as far as prospecting the numbers, like maybe 10 people a day or 10 people a week or 100 people a month, you can do anything for 30, 60, 90 days. So your Preview is for you to map that all out. About 2 years ago, I was working for Dale Carnegie, and most of you probably know who Dale Carnegie is. He wrote a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Well, I actually worked for that company, and I met a gentleman who actually runs a marathon every year. And he got up and he spoke, because if you've ever been to a Dale Carnegie class, you have to get up and you speak to people. And he was saying that when he decides to run a marathon, he plans 12 months in advance. And then he pulled out a spreadsheet of what he does every day: drink, eat, run, exercise, 12 months in advance. And his name was Scott. I'll never forget it. And he said, Greg, listen, if I know that I'm going to run next year at this time, I'm going to break down my goals into ridiculous bite-sized things that I need to do to make this happen. I said, Scott, so what you're telling me is you don't wake up the day before the race and say, I'm going to do it. He says, no, Greg. He says, this is a disciplined art form. He says, I treat this like a business. I get prepared mentally, emotionally, physically 12 months in advance. I said, how do you do it? He said, Greg, I break it down. Let me show you my spreadsheet. So he showed me a spreadsheet, which is a preview or a game plan, and this is what you must do to create different results in your business. Now, do most people use this preview? No. Most people don't have a preview in network marketing and direct sales. Most people focus on what they don't have in life. They don't focus on what they want in life or what they desire. Now, you wouldn't be spending your money and your time and this call tonight if you were that type of person. So I'm going to encourage you to grow into preview. And here's the question you want to ask yourself. Are you ready? Write this question down. This is a question that has to do with home base. You ready? It's so simple. What do you really, really desire? What do you desire? This is what we're going to talk about tonight. What do you really desire in your life? I mean, think about it. We're not here forever. I mean, some people, they leave this planet when they're 50, some people when they're 40, some people, I just heard not too long ago, a friend of mine left when they were 23. You never know. So the question I really want you to think about and ponder this week as you do your homework is, what do you really, really desire? And so you're going to use that preview to create your plan on paper and get crystal clear. Okay, enough about preview for tonight. Then you're going to go to your calendar. And your calendar is what you're going to do every single week, every single day, and every single month. And you're going to break it down. So you got March and April and May, all the way through the whole year, and you will have 12 months. The next thing you're going to come to is prospecting, contacts, and manager. And this is on the right side of your business builder. Prospect, contact, and manager. Now, this can be a little intimidating, but it's very simple and it's very easy. Let me explain it. The game, folks, is to talk to people. The game is to follow up with people. The game is to create relationships. The game is not only to influence yourself, but also learn how to influence other people and make a difference in people's life. That's all this game is all about. I'm playing a game. And if you've ever seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, that's the game that I'm playing. Making a difference, creating friendships. Who knows what I'll say to you, which you'll say to someone else, that will make a difference in someone else's life. That's the game that I'm playing. So whatever game you're playing, understand you got to play with other people. So prospect, contact, and manager is the funnel that you're going to use to sort through people. To sort through people. Notice I didn't say sell people, convince people, and beg people, but to sort through people. So if you're not driving your car, I'd like you to play along with me a little tiny game. Close your eyes. Now, if you're listening to this CD and you're driving, please don't do that. But if you're sitting in front of your desk or listening to me at your home, close your eyes. Now, I want you to imagine for one moment a giant funnel the size of your home or your condo or your lake house or your castle or wherever you live, your mansion. I want you to see this funnel in your mind, and the funnel consists of 3 colors. The mouth of the funnel is red, the very top of the funnel, which is the widest part of the funnel. Okay, you got that? It's got a red band around it. Now, the middle of the funnel has an orange band around it. And, of course, as you know, a funnel gets narrower as it gets down to the very spout or the bottom of the funnel. The bottom of the funnel is blue. So you have 3 colors of this giant funnel, red, orange, and blue. Now, here's the game, and I hope that you'll play this game. In the next 12 months, 24 months, the rest of your life, you're going to talk to people, and you're going to give them the opportunity to jump inside this giant funnel at the top, the mouth, which is the red part of the funnel. Now, here's the truth, folks. Most people aren't going to jump in the funnel for you. They're not going to take a risk. They're not going to buy your product. They're not going to be a distributor. They're not going to build a business. They're just not. Why? Because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of expanding. They're afraid of taking a risk. They're not open-minded. So I'm going to tell you up front, most of the people that you talk to will not qualify for your product or your opportunity. Now, I wish somebody told me this 10 to 15 years ago. I wish someone explained this to me because it would have taken the pressure off. That's why I'm telling you right up front, the majority of people that you talk to are going to tell you, nah, no, I don't think so. Or worse yet, they're going to tell you yes, and they're not going to do anything. Now, here's the good news. If you keep on talking to people, if you keep on building relationships with people, you're eventually going to find 1 or 2 or 3 that are going to say, wow, this is great. Where were you a year ago? I've been praying about this. I've been thinking about this. And here you show up and you're talking to me about this. That will happen to you if you don't stop prospecting. Now, do I know what I'm talking about? Absolutely. When I was broke, making $18,000 a year as a minister, I was calling out of the white pages using a computer programming, a computer program to call people out of the white pages. Now, I'm not telling you to boast or to make myself look good, but I'm going to tell you the facts. And I'm not saying you have to do this, but this is what I did, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I spoke to 100 people a day, cold, completely cold, right out of the white pages. Now, I don't recommend you do this, and I don't recommend that you teach your people to do this, because most people aren't going to be able to do this. They don't have the time or the energy or the focus to do it. But I used to talk to 100 people a day. I talked to 25 people, take a break for 20 minutes, talk to another 25 people, do a break, another 25 people, another 25 people. 100 people a day. And what I discovered is most people told me no, hung up on me, and just let it go. But by going through 100 people a day, I got some people that said to me, and it was bizarre, folks, I can't believe you're calling me about this. I've been thinking about this, I've been praying about this, and here you are showing up in my life. And I did. And then I'd show up having a cup of coffee with them, and then I'd meet their friends. And before you know it, I was in their living room doing a presentation, and that's how I built my business. Now, I don't think you have to talk to 100 people a day. You really don't. We're going to show you a simple way of doing this business that's going to make it so easy for you just to talk to a few people a day or a few people a week and get great results. But please understand what I'm telling you. Most people are not going to qualify for your opportunity and your product. Don't get discouraged, because if you keep on swinging the bat, eventually you're going to make contact. I guarantee you, if you don't quit. So hopefully you've opened your eyes by now. Now, the middle of the funnel is contact. You make an initial contact with somebody. Maybe you call them up on the phone. They don't know you. You don't know them. You break the ice. Or maybe you're talking to somebody that you do know. And then you sit down and you have a cup of coffee with them, and maybe the relationship gets a little warmer in the sense that they know you, they put a voice and a face together, and they trust you, and they like you. And then they say, look, I don't know, I'm not really sure. And then they go to your website, or they look at your CD, or they try your product. You have to get back and follow up with people. I mean, very few people are going to say yes to you on the first date. Think about dating. You don't go up to a woman if you're single or a man if you're single and just go up to somebody and say, hey, would you like to get married? It doesn't work that way. Usually people get to know each other. They go out for coffee, they go out to a movie, maybe they go to church together or synagogue, or they do something socially, and they build a relationship until it's a commitment. Why do we think we're going to call somebody up and ask them to make a decision about going into business over the phone in 5 minutes? It's going to take exposure, and time. Now, here's the funny thing about it. If you're going to talk to 5 or 10 or 15, 20 people a day or a week, you're not going to be able to get focused and organized if you don't use this planner. Because you're going to say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, I got to talk to 5 people today, but tomorrow I got to talk to 5 people, and then I got to get back in touch with the people I talked to on Monday, and then Wednesday I got to talk to another 5 people, but then I got to call back that guy on Tuesday. What was his name, and what was I supposed to call him? By using this planner, you'll never lose track of your prospects if you submit to the system. So the system is prospect, contact, manager. That's how it works. You expose somebody to your product or opportunity. If they tell you no, they never make it into the prospect section of your book. If they say, yeah, let me look at your website, let me go to that conference call, let me look at your CD, let me try your product, let me do some research on the Internet, then they become a contact. And at that point, you get back in touch with them, you expose them to the opportunity and the product until they tell you yes or no. And if they tell you yes, they become part of the manager section of your business builder. So think of it as a giant funnel. The mouth of the funnel is red, the middle funnel is orange, which is, a lot smaller, and then the bottom of the funnel is blue, which is the base of the funnel. And some people will actually go into your company or into your product. Now, the next tab is green, and it is Builder. The Builder tab is for you. It's about building yourself and growing yourself and reinventing yourself, and it's all about personal growth, okay? So if you're looking at the Builder section, it's green, Things grow, things are green. Now, right now I'm recording this call. It's in the middle of the winter. We're looking forward to spring, but you know what? Spring is going to happen. And so this green tab reminds me of spring and growing your mindset, growing the diamond. So the first thing you're going to come across is major goals this year. And then after major goals this year, you should have a couple pages of major goals this year. You're going to come to a page, and I believe that this page is worth the price of this business builder and even this course. It is called a business activity review. The business activity review is a chance for you to record your activity every single week. If you're looking at the business activity review, you will notice that it has 52 lines in it, 52 weeks of the year. Now, why is this important? Remember that I told you and promised you that you can create predictable results in your business? Well, here's the reason why. If every week you track your activity, like what you said you're going to do versus what you actually did as far as prospecting, at the end of 3 months, at the end of 6 months, at the end of 9 months, at the end of a year, you will have a predictable ratio. See, this is when it becomes really fun. And believe me, folks, I really hope that you'll stay with me for 2 years and you'll use this business activity review, because at this point when your mind changes, it becomes so fun and really unfair. Because think about it. What if you knew that you had to talk to 25 people to bring 2 people into your company? And the way you would know that is you would track your results every week and every month and every 6 months, and you would see a pattern. Because believe me, there is going to be a pattern. Just like in Weight Watchers, there's a pattern, or just like in any business, there's a ratio, what we call a sales ratio. What if you knew after 3 to 6 or 9 months working with me that your results were you talked to 25 people and 2 people told you yes? Well, it's simple. If you want to bring in 4 people, are you listening? All you have to do is talk to 50 people. Eventually, you're going to get into a pattern of predictable results. Now, is it possible to change the ratio? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to get to the point where you talk to 25 people and you bring in 9 people. Now, I'm just throwing out numbers. Results are going to vary depending on your desire and your discipline and your focus and what's going on in your life and how much you really want to play this game like a true business. But I will tell you that in normal sales or normal businesses, they have it down to a science. See, they're not taking risks because they know with their sales force that if you do so many presentations and so many different closes that you're going to produce predictable results. See, I create predictable results. I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. Now, that's in the Builder section of your Business Builder, and this page is called a Business Activity Review. Every single week, we do a Business Activity Review call. Why? Because we know that most people hate discipline. Most people would rather buy their own excuse. And what is an excuse? It's a well-planned lie. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold your feet to the fire, and we're going to ask you to come on this call every single week to call in your numbers. You don't have to say your name. You don't have to say what company you're from. You don't even have to tell us what your upline's name is. All you have to do is call in and say, hey, Greg, for the week of this week, my numbers are this. Hey, have a nice week. I'll talk to you later. And that's how simple it is. But what we found is the accountability alone will increase your ratio and your business. Okay, so enough about the Business Activity Review. The next page is a daily success journal. If you've never journaled before, I'm going to encourage you to journal. Not to journal every single day or every single minute, but I'm going to encourage you to live your life on paper. I think the most valuable asset that I'm going to leave behind is my journal, my journey. You know, it's been the people that I have met, folks. It's been the books that I've read, the mentorships that I've been involved with, the tapes, the personal growth, and the business that has literally changed my life. Things that are happening to me in my life right now would have never happened 10 or 20 years ago because I did not have the proper mindset. So what you're doing is you're leaving behind little breadcrumbs so that you can follow back to where you are, to where you're going. And it's going to keep you focused and organized. It's going to give you a sense of certainty. See, if you write down your goals and you start planning your business plan on paper and you start journaling, living your thoughts on paper, you're going to leave behind a gift not only for your friends and family, but also for yourself, because you're going to be able to look at it every 6 months and every 12 months, and you're going to go back and say, wow, I've accomplished this. I've grown. I've reinvented myself. At one time, this was just a dream, and now it's reality. Now, I'm not going to bore you with details, but I'll tell you, my first personal growth seminar was in 1996. Never heard about personal growth, had no business mindset, didn't know what I was walking into, but I went to a landmark event which changed my life. It was a 3-day event. I walked out with an index card writing down what my life would be like. I'm not going to get into details on this call tonight, but folks, I got to tell you, everything that I wrote down on that index card in 1996 is a reality today because I knew what I wanted, I visualized, I put it on paper, and I've made it happen. We're going to teach you how to create magic in your life, but you first got to know what you desire, what you deserve, and you got to get focused on paper. So we're going to encourage you to journal. For those of you that have never journaled, never dreamt dreams, this might scare you. Please understand this. You're standing on a diamond mine of potential. Just change your mind. In every aspect of the diamond that we're going to talk about in the next 5 weeks, the next 12 months or 24 months, desire and discipline and mastering disappointments and dialogue and destiny, it's going to require you to have an open mind and to change your mind about these things. Okay, then let's get to the indexer. What is the indexer? Well, folks, if you're only going to talk to one person every 1 year, you don't need the indexer. If you're only going to talk to 4 or 5 people a year about your product or your opportunity, you don't need the indexer. It's really something you should rip out of your day planner right now and throw it in the garbage. But if you're going to be a team player and an all-star player and a champion when it comes to direct sales network marketing, you're going to need this indexer. Here's how it works. Every time you talk to a prospect and they get placed in the funnel, remember the funnel? In the prospect section of your business builder, they're also going to get recorded in the indexer. Now, a lot of times people will tell me, boy, this is a lot of work. I got to write this down. I got to follow up. I got to call these people. Yes, you do. And believe me, folks, when I first heard about this, I didn't like it either. I didn't like the discipline. I didn't like being consistent. But I'll tell you, I do like the rewards. And I thank God that I changed my mind. So here's how the indexer works. There are 26 pages that are alphabetized. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You got it. Go all the way back to Z. Now, here's what happens. You're on the phone, and you're talking to Mary Smith about your product or your opportunity, and she tells you no. And about a year later, Mary Smith calls you back and says, listen, I'm thinking about what you talked to me a year about a year ago about it. I want to know more about it. And you're thinking to yourself, Mary Smith, who in the world is Mary Smith? See, the indexer is going to allow you to track hundreds of people every single month and every year so that you do not lose track of the relationship and the conversation. See, this is a relationship business based on conversations. So you can talk to hundreds of people a day, hundreds of people a week, hundreds of people a month, hundreds of people a year, and you'll never lose track of folks because they're being recorded in your planner as far as whether they're a prospect, whether they're a contact, whether they've done a network family section or a game plan interview. So they're going to be inside your book so that you can relocate them at any time. Let me give you an example. The other day, a person clicked on my website, and I knew that they were there. And I thought to myself, who is this person? I opened up my indexer. I found out where I left off in the conversation, which went back a year and a half. And I called back the person. I picked up the conversation exactly where I left off with it based on the information that I wrote in my book about this person, and she came in the course within 15 minutes of making a decision. Now, how did that happen? Because I was able to relocate the person and carry on the conversation and talk to them about what was important to them. And we're going to talk to you about that in a couple weeks. So let's start at home base. We've talked a lot. We've given you a foundation about the course, a foundation about the business builder, what you can expect. Now we're going to ask you to step up to the plate. Are you willing? Are you willing to play this game? Okay. The first thing that I would do when I would sign up a new distributor, I was in a nutritional company. I would say to them, what do you desire? Why are you joining this business? What do you want out of life? Now, rather than reinventing the wheel, I would give them what I call a game plan interview. And I would interview them to figure out what was important to them. See, when I first started, I thought it was all about me and my desire and what I wanted to accomplish. And I was really fixated on my belly button, if you know what I mean. And it wasn't until I met Dale Carnegie, not physically because he's not on the planet, but meeting Dale Carnegie, his philosophy, and his works, that I realized that it ain't about me. It's about you. And you have to realize that it ain't about you. It's about the person that you're talking to. So the game plan interview is found within the manager section of your business builder. So please, if you will, right now in time, we're going to do an exercise right on this phone call, right on this live CD. Turn to the manager section of your business builder, the blue tab, which is in the right side, and take out a game plan interview. And you'll find that next to this blue tab that says manager, you have a description, a guideline, which will help you fill out this form. So what I would do is when I signed up a new distributor or a new business person, it wasn't about me telling them what I wanted them to do, because that never works. I wanted to find out what motivated them, why they were playing the game, why they signed the application, why they gave me their money, why they wanted to build a business. And so I would interview them, and we would create a game plan on paper so that we could execute this and make their dreams come true. So you're going to see here at the top it says Game Plan Interview, and success is helping others achieve their goals. Now, we have this on a Adobe file that you can actually email to people all over the country. You can fax this to people. You can sit down with people in their living room and spend an hour or two helping them create a plan on paper. It's very important that you figure out why other people want to play this game. Now, before we can ask other people why they want to play this game, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, why are you in this course? Why are you in direct sales? Why are you in network marketing? And why do you want to play this game? So we're going to do an exercise based on home base, which is mastery of desire, and we're going to create more desire, more focus, so that you get out there and win this game. So grab this piece of paper that says Game Plan Interview, Success is Helping Other People Achieve Their Dreams, and turn to the second page or the back side of the Game Plan Interview. At the very top left, it's going to say Game Plan Interview Journal, okay? You should all be with me. We're in the Game Plan under the Manager section of the Business Builder. Now, the first thing you're going to see at the very top is, do you want me to coach you in this business? Now, picture this. You just brought in a new distributor and a person that wants to build a business with you. The first thing you want to ask them is, will you allow me to coach you? I know the ropes. I've been down the road further than you. You don't know that much about it. John, will you allow me to coach you? Do I have permission so that I can show you the ropes and teach you the business? This is what you're going to say to somebody else. You got to get their permission. You got to get them to buy in, because they didn't hand you $500,000. They didn't buy a franchise. The only thing that's going to keep you guys together is the relationship and the fact that you are going to assist them get what they want. So in the process of assisting a lot of people get what they want, being a servant, I believe it's all about servanthood, you're going to get what you want. And this is not new. But the first thing you want to do is you want to sit down, you want to show this piece of paper to your new distributor, and you want to say, listen, will you allow me to coach you? So here's the question I'm going to ask you tonight. Will you allow Greg Dwyer to coach you?